thing in the report that came to us.
Is the board ready? All right. Okay, let's come to order. It's 5:30. Appreciate the board being here. What's the board's pleasure? Modifications to the agenda right now, or you want to just deal with the meeting minutes and go into executive session?
3 minutes in executive session.
Anybody else? I have no objection to that.
That's fine with me.
Okay, then let's do that. Modifications to the agenda will come after we come out of executive session. All right, let's see. Approval of meeting minutes, July 27, 2026. That was working meeting. I'll take a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Wade moves. Second, please.
I'll second.
Kathy seconds. Motion and second on the table. Discussion, amendments, changes.
I just want to make sure that, and I did speak to Hannah just now, my name's spelled S-H-A-W-N, not S-E-A-N.
Thanks for the update.
And there's a few things in there that I'll just vote for the minutes.
What are there things in there that you wish to see edited, modified, changed that you feel are inaccurate from the meeting on the 27th?
Nothing, I'd just rather put the conversations to bed, so we'll leave it.
Anybody else concerning the July 27 meeting minutes as proposed? You good?
Mhm.
All right. Hearing no further, let's move to vote. And all in favor of approve, here's the ayes have it, and the ayes do have it. I believe that was 5-0. Okay, motion to enter executive session for personnel matter, and Jim Hayes will be invited in. I'll take a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Wade moves.
I'll second.
Sean seconds. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of entering executive session, and this would be pursuant to 1 VSA section 313A1B, personnel. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Here's the ayes have it. The ayes do have it. All right, we are in executive session. Jim? as we broke out of executive session at 6:20. So we have some catching up to do here on the agenda. Let's see, the first item is modifications. I have a couple of items that ought to get at least a discussion, but let's hear from anybody else first.
Do we have to say no action taken?
Yeah, and no action coming out of executive session.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so modifications to the agenda.
I'd like to just bring up a modification for executive session, an employee-related issue.
Was this,
What I had mentioned.
that's public except for an executive session portion of that. You want to keep going with the modification?
For a rate?
For pay rate.
Pay raise for an employee who's been making a request?
Yeah.
How do folks feel, how does the board feel about adding a pay raise for a employee? My hesitation to do it this time is that that's an expenditure, it's not inconsiderable. And I am worried that it ought to have its own agenda warning.
I'm okay with it being added.
It was brought up the last meeting to add to the agenda, it just didn't make it there, and I didn't catch it.
Right.
Pay raise? Anybody from the audience have a different feeling about it? Anybody else?
I support the discussion.
Yeah, I think it probably should have been on the agenda, but if we've got three people who wanna deal with it tonight, so.
All right, we'll put it on. Let's put it, where do you want it, Sean?
It's in executive session. We have to, it's an addition to
Oh,
the
okay.
executive session.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Executive session. All right, we'll do that. All right, a couple of items I have. Oh, wait, let me check in. Kathy, anything to modify on the agenda?
No.
Okay, Sean, you got anything?
No, sir.
Our road crew ad is not in compliance with the law effective July 1st, 2025, which is Act 155. It's House Bill number 704. This is known as the Pay Transparency Act, and it means that when we advertise for a position, we have to note the pay range in the ad. So we didn't do that. We left it only pay commensurate with experience. We probably need to touch on that. Also, the garage project isn't here, and there's a VOSHA letter that needs consideration in that as well. And then Beaver Dam on Slate Road, Slate Ledge, for discussion. These three items, where would we put it?
So you mentioned the garage project, the Beaver Dam, and what was the third one?
Road crew ad, legal compliance.
Got it.
That one seems easy, let's put that right up front.
Before or after, let me see, before reorganizing board?
Sure.
Okay. Anything else? Then that's exactly where we are right now. Road crew ad. The question is, we have to put in a pay range, and the last ad runs this Wednesday. There's nothing we can do about changing that ad. Do we want to continue the ad for, say, another week with the actual pay range included in it, and what is that pay range? Those seem to be two questions. If we extend the ad, we're also extending the reply by time.
Yes, I'm extending the ad, and again, I'm new to this. Do we talk about a dollar and cent in
Well,
public?
we've always had $25 which is
Base,
the base, and then it was,
I didn't think you had to put the other end of on that bill.
I think you just had to have.
nobody's gonna get very interested at $25
That's
an
what
hour.
I'm thinking, my real question is, can we talk about $30 or $32, or does that have to be in an executive session?
It does not have to be an executive session. The pay would essentially still remain commensurate with experience, but we kind of have to legally, to comply with the law, note the pay range.
So could we put $25 to $35 an hour, or $32.50,
I
or
think we should
$30?
just start with 25 and then,
Because he said a range.
and Wade said that we don't need a range. So
I don't know.
I don't-
I didn't think you had to have the top end. I thought you had to.
Because
have
most
the base.
entities you see just
Well, let
has
me
a
say
base
that-
rate.
VLCT wrote back as well to tell me the exact same thing, and they said, pay range.
Range.
And I haven't read the actual law, Act 155, so I don't know what the law states, but let's just assume we do need a pay range, at least for this conversation.
Can we do 25 to 28?
I mean, we would even be safe to do the low end to what our road foreman gets, because they're gonna be in there somewhere.
Do that?
It doesn't have to be the hourly wage, it can be yearly salary also. That's easier.
We work by hourly range. What does the foreman get?
34.
So we wouldn't want to list 35.
You can, but you better think twice about what I'm getting.
I would think, yeah, I would
25,
think 25 to
30?
30, yeah. I don't know, just,
We want somebody with road grader experience. Do we don't need to go a little higher to get that?
Well, we could do 30, 25 to 30, and then it's,
Pay commensurate with experience?
you can, if you want to add that in, because that's what they did with Rick, right?
They gave Rick $30 an hour. And then they found out that,
But that's what they did. But it was advertised as 25,
yeah, I believe it was advertised at 25. And
because we're
then
used in the
it was
same.
negotiation.
Sean, you had a idea percolating?
Well, yeah, I'm thinking that we know a certain somebody's only gonna work a little, couple of years, at most more. We would wanna be looking for someone who had experience in being a road foreman. So what do we wanna go, like 28 to 33.50 or something? And maybe we would get somebody qualified that has the ability to step into somebody's shoes when that person decides to go walking. We'd be thinking ahead that way. We'd be thinking of the town's future that way.
What's the foreman think?
If you're gonna offer somebody 33 and I'm getting 34, and I handle all the responsibilities and the paperwork and the whole 9 yards, that's kind of kick in the face to me. But I will agree with Sean that however we do it, we've gotta offer enough money to attract attention. But we also have to, plan for the future.
Sean, what if we were to do 28 to 32? Jim, does that satisfy your sense of propriety?
$2 less than me.
But also, the year-end's coming up too, and whatever, so. I don't know.
Somebody put a motion on the table.
We can just,
I'll put a motion on the table to advertise for 28 to 32.50.
I think that's too high. I don't agree with that.
Anybody second?
I think the low end shouldn't be that high
I think it should be
based on
30.
what we, our current.
You want to modify?
Go ahead.
I just think too that, it all comes down to negotiation, depending on experience. But I think
I
depending
agree.
on, you're gonna have to pay somebody decent in order to get
I think
somebody
it
with experience.
I think it should be 28 to 30.
But I think what you should do too is once we negotiate with that individual, you should adjust our incomes accordingly.
Yeah, but that's a discussion for executive session, I would believe and imagine,
Right.
at a later date. Right now, we have
The
to
discussion is the ad.
concentrate on the ad and getting an employee or two if we're
25 to 31?
I think 25 is too little.
What's just the base?
Well, I don't have a basis for that, but I'm gonna assume if we went down and checked with construction people, that $25 is a base pay for a laborer at this point.
Do you know from the report, the other towns? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I think Danville's 25 something. They were 23. Somebody said they just gave $2 an hour to everybody.
I think we should start at 25 and go to,
I agree with Sean that I feel that it's too low, but we can't go above where the crew member is right now.
Right.
no,
So we would have to go 25, I would say base, and then we could go up from there.
What would you put as the,
I like the 31.
31?
There's a motion, so.
Just for out of curiosity, the Vermont League of Cities and Towns list there is at like 23 to 27.
Oh, 1 second. Your name?
Chris.
Chris.
Yep.
Last time you signed in?
Yep.
Where are you from?
St. Johnsbury.
Okay.
I was just offering information. I've got no input, but.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to know who we have here.
Absolutely.
Your thoughts?
No, I just think you need to be in similarities to what other towns the size of this are. You know, which if their average is, you know, between 20 and 27, and right on the Vermont Leagues of Cities and Town websites, there's a bunch of ads for 23 to 27. Why wouldn't you be there?
If we want to
Just to
attract
start,
attention.
just to start, and then, you know, you can go higher if somebody negotiates that.
Wade, you were formulating something. Were you suggesting 25 to 31?
I know Sean had a
Are you
motion,
moving that?
so we've got a motion on the table. Do that ever get?
No, Sean never got a
Nobody
second, so
seconded.
it's so
Yeah,
far
I'll make that
dies.
motion.
Okay, Wade moves $25 to $31 pay range for the road crew advertisement. Anybody second?
I don't,
Kathy seconds. So now it's properly on the table. Further discussion? Hearing none, move to vote then. Oh, are we also agreeing that we're gonna run the ad for another week?
Yeah,
Yes,
I like
please.
that.
Yes?
Yes.
And then we bump out the reply by due date as well, by 1 week. I don't even remember what the date is,
it's the
but
17th. The following Monday would be the 24th.
24th, due 24th, one more week, same days. Okay, so the motion is pay range stated 25 to 31, run the whole ad for 1 more week. Application response is due by 8/24/2026.
So do we need to tell her what days to run it?
She's running
For each
Monday,
one?
Wednesday, Saturday. And this Wednesday is the last day under the previous allocation.
So she could do Saturday and next Monday, Wednesday and Saturday and,
No, this Wednesday is the last day, so we get Saturday,
so we do
and then
one more
Monday,
Wednesday.
Wednesday, the next week. Is that agreeable, or do you want to change the,
Oh, that's fine.
okay?
I just need to know, because I'm the one doing it on Front Porch Forum, so I
Yep.
just want to know.
And I'll
what-
update with VLCT. So that's the motion. Any further discussion? And if you think you have all that? All that gobbledygook reduced down to good, solid motion language?
Well, not yet, that's in the editing phase.
Okay.
I got the details.
All right.
I think,
So the last day to run the ads and then.
Hang on a second, Jim, I gotta think. 11, 12, yes, 19. Okay, Jim?
Has there been any interest so far?
One applicant from Barry, Young, and restrictions.
Okay.
Motion on the table. Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor of the motion as we have worked out, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Here's the ayes have it. The ayes do have it. All right, 5-0. Garage project is potentially pretty big. Do we want to tackle that right now? Or move that down?
Move it down.
Move it down.
Where would you put it? How about right after gravel test? Anybody object after gravel test? Okay, let's do that. Beaver Dam on Slate Road, Slate Ledge. Jim, are you aware?
Put it with the Shadow Lake fence and the Martel fence.
Oh, you want to move that down too?
No, I would put that,
The Beaver Dam on Slate Ledge?
so they're all right together.
Shadow Lake fence, all right, we'll put it after Martel fence. Beaver Dam. Slate Ledge, all right. So let's see, reorganizing board, we need a vice chair and we need an NVDA appointment. Who wants to go for vice chair? Who wants to be punished with the vice chair position?
So for me, while we're reorganizing, I think we should have a discussion about the chair. I think we should have a discussion because you look in the room here and people who used to come regularly don't come anymore. I think we should have a discussion because, you know, you brought up the town garage project. None of us voted for you to go back to E.H. Danson and start a whole another round of negotiation. Yeah, you took it upon yourself. I'm just not comfortable with the way that the whole program is being operated. And I, for one, would nominate Kathy for chair.
I will turn it down. I don't have time to be chair. I need 5 days a week, 9 hours a day, and I don't have time to put in during the
I
day.
think, Sean, if you'd like to have a meaningful conversation about that subject, we ought to put it on the agenda, future item.
If you want to.
Well, that's up to you at this point, but right now we're talking about vice chair and NVDA appointment.
I recommend Ron be the vice chair because he was chair before and he's got the experience.
I would recommend Wade. Wade would be like Kathy and kindly decline.
Just don't have time.
I think it's an important role and I don't have the capacity with our weekly.
And I haven't been on board long enough and I don't feel like I'm qualified to do it. I'd like to see Ron do it.
Ron, would you accept the position?
If you promise not to tell anybody.
Well, I'm doing my best to either be around to handle things or to not need to lean on a vice chair, but I sure would like to have a vice chair.
Okay,
Go ahead.
hold it,
See where it goes.
unless somebody else wants it.
Are you wanting to float your name in?
Well, one, like Kathy, I don't feel like I have experience
I don't have
in
enough
this,
experience.
in this world. Two, I don't necessarily have a comfort level about how well we work together, but if there's nobody else, I'll be willing to give it a try.
I think we should give it a try.
Well, there's a vote for that.
I make a motion that we make Ron the vice chair, assistant chair, whichever.
Well, okay, so there's a motion. Anybody want to second the motion that Ron be appointed the vice chair? For discussion? It doesn't mean it's the vote. Wade?
I'll second it for discussion.
Wade seconds. Further discussion? My feeling is that Ron is experienced, prior experience on the board, 2 years, wasn't it, Ron?
Yes,
It was 1 year as chair. In my opinion, 1.5 as chair.
yeah, because of resignation of the chair.
Okay. In my opinion, I think Ron is a steady voice, not too controversial, less opinionated than I am. So that's my 2 cents. Anybody else? Move to vote. All in favor of appointing Ron Gray as the vice chair of the select board, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No,
Are you voting nay or?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Nay.
And Ron, are you abstaining?
Yes.
Okay. By my count, it is a vote of 3 aye, 1 nay, and 1 abstention. The ayes would appear to have it. The ayes do have it. Ron, congratulations for appointment to vice chair. NVDA appointment. I am told by the clerk that we have somebody who's willing to serve.
Yes,
Yes, sir. Please, your name and anything you'd like to say.
name is Fred Sarr. Excuse me, I've been on the NVDA board for about 12 years. While I was on the select board, then as a special director for nonprofits after that. Served 2 terms on the board as president and my 3rd term as treasurer secretary. I know NVDA, I know the staff, I know how it works and how to get things done. The town plan has been expired since 24 and the hazard mitigation plan since 22. And those need to be updated. I've worked on both of them in the past. I'd be happy to work on.
I know very little about the interaction between the town and NVDA, other than a lot of good regional planning happens at the NVDA. It sounds like we'd be lucky to have you. Anything else you wanna?
Well, I have a lot of experience. I've been involved in the Act 181, the land use stuff, since it's come up. And we've actually got a big review coming up, their pre-application response next week. Happy to do it.
So I just have one question, and then I would be happy to make a motion to nominate Fred for the NVDA position. But my question is this: how would you keep in touch with us? How often would we see you? How would you communicate to us?
However you
Should we
would.
see you?
Yes. There should be some periodic update on where we are on at least town plan and hazard mitigation grant. I think, well, I don't know, do you guys get emails from NVDA about what's going on? You should be getting updates and newsletters and what have you.
I believe that's correct.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but I see them periodically.
Okay. Well, I'd make sure that you were on the mailing list for all the relevant ones.
Yes, please.
Um,
Would you email us if something came up that we needed to know about?
oh, absolutely.
Would you come to the monthly Monday meeting? If there was
If there's something relevant we needed to discuss, I'd make sure it was on the agenda. And I'll provide some information in advance.
So my motion's on the table for his nomination.
I'll second.
And Sean moves and Sean Wade seconds. Motion properly on the table. Anybody else have any questions for Mr. Sarr?
Mr. Fred.
Mr.
Fred.
Goes by Fred.
Nobody calls him Mr. Sarr.
Looking around.
Fred, thank you for
Let's
stepping
go to
up to the plate.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Fred or anything else Fred would like to tell us? Appreciate your stepping up. No further questions? Call the question then. All in favor of Fred Sarr being appointed to the NVDA position for the town?
Do we need a motion?
Okay,
Oh, we did? Okay.
Sean.
Motion and second.
Sean and Wade.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
So we're all set. All in favor of appointing Fred Sarr as the town's NVDA representative, please say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? The ayes appear to have it. And the ayes do have it, 5-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
would you like me to, start working on the two plans? Getting something in motion?
You are an appointee. I don't know that the select board can direct you to do anything. How is this working?
This would be more of a lead person for the town, not really related to the NVDA, position.
I think I was remiss, I have another question. The planning commission, how would you have them involved in helping you to get the town plan in order and all of that?
Planning commission is integrally involved in the town plan. The hazard mitigation piece is done by a consultant that meets with a number of town people, the dam and other agencies.
This is the plan that expired in 2024 that it's updating?
Town plan was 24. Hazard mitigation plan was 22.
Oh, okay. What was the question you were just asking?
Oh, would you like me to take the lead getting these things started?
The answer sounds like yes.
Just recorded in the minutes that you asked me to do that.
So you're taking the lead on getting started with
Hazard
updating the
mitigation
hazard mitigation plan
plan first.
out of date since 22, and then the town plan
Yes,
out of expired since 2024.
right.
Yes, please. And thank you.
The issue with the hazard mitigation plans, without one, it would really impact your ability to get reimbursement from FEMA for a natural disaster. So that's a little more pressing. And it's, the town plan, it's a good time to restart it because it needs to be consistent with the regional plan, which they're in the process of developing now. And it has to be submitted by year end. I will keep you updated on where we are and what's going on.
Do you need anything else from the board?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll leave you to it.
Could you
Much
spell
appreciated.
your last name?
SAAR.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks much.
Thank you. Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Good to see you.
All right, select board housekeeping. Quickly, first question, anybody have some situation come up where they feel they may have an appearance of a conflict of interest or actually have a conflict of interest? General question. I'm hearing none. I want to state that it has come back to my attention that there may be an effort afoot in the community seeking my resignation from the select board. My response, and my only response, is that the town voters elected me to perform the town's work. And I am not resigning from the board. I would always welcome anybody who has concerns or criticisms or other opinions they want to share to come in to the open meetings, or contact me separately, or contact any other select board member separately. And I welcome the feedback. I want to note that for public concerns, it's my intention that we hear what the public has to say, and we do so in a manner that's courteous and respectful and amenable to a organized meeting process. I have no further statements to make along that line. Anybody else? Select board housekeeping? Okay. We are now at cell phone and iPad. It's not noted as an action item, but let's see what we have here. So both the cell phone and the iPad have been matters that have been discussed recently and frequently, and we're having challenges getting them untangled. We just learned from the road foreman this evening that he has brought somebody from Verizon. Is that the case, Jim?
Correct.
Okay, and that was information that was shared in executive session. I'm sharing it now because it is open meeting information, and apparently we're going to have some new information, and hopefully it's going to be helpful. So I don't know how to begin this. Does your person want to start. And let me say that the problem we're trying to solve is we want well, the board's gonna have to decide, and I think it's the case, that the board wants the foreman to have a town-issued, town-owned phone for his work. We also need a contract for the iPad. Is this something you can directly address with us right now and give us good information?
Absolutely.
Okay. Again, would you state your name for the record, and then let's...
Chris, Beattie, Beattie.
And where do you work?
Verizon store in St. Johnsbury.
Okay. What's your position there?
Store manager.
Okay. You want to start?
Yeah, so this goes back a while. So back 3 months ago, Jim came in. Actually, it goes back further than that. 4 years ago, Jim had tried getting a phone under the town of Waterford's municipality account. For whatever reason, the documentation that was needed to set up that municipality account couldn't be provided to us at the store to set that account up. Jim took it upon himself, as he didn't have a smartphone at that point, to set up an account in his own name. His personal credit, his personal everything, through the agreement that he had with the board at the time, that I believe they paid the cell phone bill, as it was used exclusively, or not exclusively, but for town business, with the iPad, with his mapping stuff that I helped him get on it. And it was business as usual for several years, 3 years. Roughly 3 months ago, so that would be, I think it was in May, Mr. Hayes came in with a phone that had lost service. I performed some technical stuff to it, got it working. 3 days later, it stopped working again. Jim came in and I gave him, kind of the best deal, which was, at that point, we had a trade-in promotion. So we traded in the old phone that he had, got an $830 credit off the new phone, an $840 phone. So it was a $10 phone at that point.
Can you give us those numbers again?
Yep, so the promotional credit was $830. The overall cost of the new phone, $840. So $10 difference. At that point, the only other option was for Jim to do an insurance claim. With the insurance claim, it would have been a $99 deductible, $79.99 to transfer data, $34.99 for a screen protector for the new phone, given his line of work. I think that's his first line of defense. And putting him just a little over $200. Instead, being a repeat customer, being a municipality, knowing what it's being used for, the best financial decision for the town was for Jim to get a new phone. It was the least expensive option of the two. With the exception of the latter carries a 36-month agreement. So you've got to stick with Verizon for 36 months.
Can we stop on this point? I didn't catch all the numbers, but I understood it was approximately $200 total to obtain a new phone.
Yeah, I think it would roughly, with the insurance claim, it would have been about $220.
Well, that's what I want to ask you. We were paying a monthly fee as like a warranty or insurance for the phone. And it's that program that you're saying we could have gotten a replacement phone?
At $220.
Yeah.
Yep.
What kind of phone?
Same iPhone 14. 3-year-old phone.
But just a further clarifying, you were able to set them up for $10.
Yeah, the new phone cost him $10, and then the tax on the new phone. So I think the new cost was like, without having the invoice, it was like $189, $190, something like that. So there was clearly a $20 or $30 difference for a 27 cents a month increase to the bill. 27 cents. And then I believe it was the month after when Jim had came in and we got into the account. So I'm going to fast forward from that to trying to move the existing phone and iPad to a municipality account. I provided Heather via text message on June 28th, a text message that laid out the information needed, the contact information for the Verizon government rep that serves all of New England out of Groton, Connecticut.
And that's the elusive Robert Kingston?
Yep. Not elusive at all. He searched his email 4 times for an email that was supposed to have been sent to him, and he hasn't gotten one. I confirmed it again tonight, right before I pulled in the driveway. I was actually outside, confirmed with him, and he searched again. I'm not sure if he's searching for the wrong stuff. So at that point, I had also given Heather a phone number, which I did, made a mistake. I fat fingered the phone number, but this didn't come to light until a month later, so June 28th, July 29th is when I was informed that the number was wrong.
That's, explains a lot.
Yeah, so it was a month later that we were like, okay, now why is this just coming to light? Like, knowing what your guys' position was to get everything switched as quick as possible, like we just burned another month, another meeting, and now we're into the second meeting since then. So, you know, it's been 3 cycles essentially. It's a simple thing. It's literally send the form. I just gotta look what the form's called again, so that you guys can all write it down. I don't do a lot of municipality stuff, but I do enough to understand that part of it. 921, July 31st, July 31st. Here. He will need the W-9 and tax exempt form. Once those are sent to him, he will reply with a document that whomever is financially responsible signs, scans it back to him, PDF, and sends it back. And at that point, with Jim's permission, we can transition the phone and the tablet to the town's account.
The treasurer's office has repeatedly brought to our attention that they have IRS regulation they must comply with, and that includes, regardless of the fact that the phone was in Jim's name, although we were paying for it.
Yep.
We need to have the itemized monthly bill, not just like the dollar amounts on the bill. We need to have the actual log of the calls on a monthly basis. And we need the bill for the May-June cycle in order to pay for the May-June cycle according to IRS regs.
Who stopped the auto pay because the bills were forwarded to that email?
The treasurer eventually stopped the auto pay because we hadn't received the May-June cycle billing statements.
I don't understand why that. I will check into that first thing in the morning with Jim, but I know we never changed anything.
No,
Billing
the treasurer was learning what was required under this arrangement in order to continue making the payments.
Gotcha.
That's my understanding. And have you talked to the treasurer about this?
A little bit, hard to contact.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they have limited hours, you know, justifiably. I don't know if I'm gonna.
But if you leave the subject matter, I'm pretty sure she'll be responsive.
Yep.
Sean.
I just wanna, can you please repeat, did you say that the auto pay bills were forwarded to the town treasurer?
Yes.
So therefore she had the bills, my friend.
Right, that's what I'm
When you say
concerned.
bills though, you're talking about like the dollar value that needs to be paid, not the itemized.
There should be a link where they can log into the account, which she had to have had to set up the auto pay. Jim couldn't access that himself because it wasn't his email. He didn't have the password. Though it was his account, he's financially obligated to pay it. He couldn't access it because it was under the town's information. That's correct, right, Jim?
My name's on it, but the address is the town of
Yeah,
Waterford.
everything on that account
The
is
credit
listed
card's
as the
town of
town.
Waterford.
Yep.
Town of Waterford's pays for it.
So again, as a matter of public record, I would like to state that we're being told by the Verizon representative that the person who receives the auto pay bills forwarded to the town treasurer has access to the link of all the information needed for the IRS and any other audit or tax thing that you keep running us around Robin Hood's barn over.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if the question is to prove that he uses it for town business,
And that's not what we're talking about here. It's IRS regulation
Okay.
that the itemized
Bill.
phone bill
Yep.
has to come in with the actual calls made on it.
and my assumption is that it always had, because that was the email that it sent to. Now, I will say, I mean, there are times we all have personal accounts and there's, things happen. Possibly through the upgrade that we did, a glitch might have occurred. I would have to double and triple check that, but,
Is there any way you can actually check the account to make sure what you're stating here is fact? That the treasurer would have had access to the entire account, the
absolutely,
numbers as well as the actual calls
absolutely.
made? Because if we had that, that would
It's
solve a
very
lot of
simple.
problems.
The email on the account is the town treasurer's email. That's who set up the My Verizon. You have to log into that to set up the auto pay.
And that email account,
I don't know what the address is. I'm not allowed to, I mean, if I'm directed to look at it, I can provide that, but I can't just look at that stuff in people's accounts.
password protected.
I'm wondering,
Go ahead.
when did they change the email addresses? 2 years ago?
Yeah, it's been automatic payment for quite a while.
But the auto payment might have been set up, but the town's
Email,
emails
could have went to
all
old email.
got changed. Remember, they went to Waterford Government when Mike was on the
Yeah, but
board.
it still was going to her. I've got it right here.
Did she ever provide you copies of anything, or did you? No.
No,
I just wondered if, in Verizon, if it had
Yeah, I
the
can,
old
yep,
email, because the town
switch
upgraded
email servers.
switch me email addresses a couple years ago.
she's been paying the.
Wait, but
What I'm
what she's
saying
saying, Jim, is
is
that the auto pay was still
the
set up?
auto pay was set up, so it was always there. So when we upgraded emails, if
right.
the email didn't get
Very well could
upgraded
have
on the account, she wouldn't be receiving those emails,
That's possible.
because they did get changed.
Yeah.
A couple years ago.
This is pre my history.
Yes, I forget when they changed it. Was it, might have been when Mike
She's
Barrett,
still receiving the bill.
The reality of the bill,
That's
She
not
might-
auto pay.
she
the
might have been
reality of
out
the
of
bill,
pay because it was set up.
I'm sure Jim, I'm sure you guys, to put this behind us, heck, myself even, the first order of business is let's get things switched over.
Right.
Because that's what the end goal needs to be. If it means that Jim's out $250 for 2 months of bills, that's a small price to pay, right? Or I can make those go away. Like, it's just not worth the hassle for you guys to have a cell phone and iPad on your agenda for three months. For
Well,
Jim to have to come and
that
sit
would-
in my store for 3 hours because we're busy.
If Verizon is willing to do that, it would end a log jam, because we kind of have still an impasse here between IRS regulations and Jim saying he's already provided everything that the treasurer has asked for in order that he's compensated for the May-June billing cycle.
Yep.
Can I give him Heather's correct address to see if it's in the account correctly?
Is it a town public address?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, he could look online, but I can give it to him.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put it in my notes so
It's
that
a
I
public
can
address.
look in the morning.
If you even went on the town's website and looked up the treasurer's email
This
address.
would be an
Well,
easy
you got it.
resolution if it
I gave it to
Oh,
you.
yeah, I do have
Sure,
the
It's
email.
treasurer at waterfordbt.gov.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got that.
Yep, yeah,
I
that's right.
provided that to him.
Yeah, but just make sure that's on the account. As part of the billing information, so that,
So what's more important, the billing or getting things switched over?
Well-
Because I think they're two separate issues.
To me, they look like they're exactly the same. Tell me if I'm wrong. If we accomplish the switch over, so the town owns the phone.
Yep.
town owns the iPad.
Yep.
Town's paying for the monthly services for that, then the billing comes to the town.
Everything. At that point, everything comes to the town.
So
Right.
it's one issue, not two.
No, because it's, you're taking a town account and Jim's account and thinking they're gonna go like this.
I was
But
thinking that.
They actually go like this from Jim's account. Nothing correlates. Taking phone and tablet from here, putting it here, you set up everything here, or the treasurer would set up everything new here, starting at that day.
How fast can this happen?
It could be done tomorrow.
I think she's on vacation.
Oh, that's right. I wonder,
Can Marcel do it?
Maybe Marcel could do it? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's, you know, it's.
we'll look into it, but
Yeah, it's just
assuming
the
that,
email, phone number to Robert. He needs the W-9 and the tax exempt form. He's gonna email back a form, PDF it, scan it, sign it, send it back, and then Jim calls in, releases the phone numbers to the municipality or the town of Waterford, Vermont. Bob goes in and grabs them, sets them there, and
so
Jim's
this has to
account,
be coordinated through Robert Kingston.
Robert Kingston. yes.
And just for the sake of clarity, do
Yep.
you have the correct phone
I
number
do.
and the email address?
You sent that down.
Phone number 860.
Yeah.
772-6953. Email address robert.kingston, KINGSTON, @verizonwireless.com.
At Verizon Wireless. One word,
Yes, sir.
.com. Very good. So the question is, can Marcel do it this week, maybe as fast as tomorrow? Or must it be the treasurer? In
Whomever-
likelihood, it will be next
Whomever
week.
is an authorized representative from the town to make those decisions.
I'm
You know,
not positive.
I think any of you could, to be honest, or I don't know.
No, we run in our own pretty distinct
Okay.
lane, so the treasurer office would have to handle this.
Yeah.
Even as chair, I wouldn't do this.
So the treasurer's office needs to do it. huh?
Yeah.
Maybe he's her assistant, so why couldn't he act on her behalf?
That's what we're gonna find out.
Is that gonna take a month?
If not, she'll be back next Monday, if it can't work, right?
So, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but
No.
you did put it out there on the floor.
Yeah.
Will Verizon forgive the May-June billing cycle in order to push this forward?
I would have to look at the account, check some information, and I will do, everything in my power tomorrow, to get the account in the standing to which this can occur.
Is there any way that, I or somebody on the board can follow through on this?
I will communicate with Jim because that's who I have to communicate to get into the account anyways.
Did you pass that info to Heather?
She's on vacation.
She's on vacation, but yeah.
Put the accounts in his name.
Right, he can take those phones and tablet and do whatever he wants with them right now. Obviously, that's not what we want to happen, as he has gotten his own. But the way Verizon works, like if you,
Has to be a three-way conversation.
yeah, it's the legality of it. Like, if I had my own account and Jim had a phone on it and he didn't give me the phone back, because I gave it to him, there's nothing I can do but disconnect it and take the financial loss, right? So it all starts with Jim saying, yes, I'm willing to give the phones to the town. And then the town says, okay, we want to take them.
It's more than a verbal, though. There's a form for Jim to give it up.
It's a verbal communication, 100% verbal, which he did. He has documents that he did it once, on June 29th.
Okay.
Around the time that we had, that was when we messaged Robert. So we thought it was gonna happen in that window, because it's only a 14-day window, and it didn't happen. So that request expired, first week of July, second week of July.
Okay, so we have to do it again. but
Yeah, yep,
We'll get our ducks in a row and see that we can, get this accomplished.
yeah, just get it switched over.
What can go wrong here?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing that, I think the only other thing that I wanted to just touch base with, obviously Jim's been my liaison on what's been going on with it, so I'm to understand it. You know, did the purchase of the phone, did you get compensated for that, Jim, what you paid out of pocket?
No.
Okay, so that's why I mentioned earlier the cost differences of what it would have costed had we done an insurance claim, $218, $213 versus the $198 that he paid. It was in the benefit of the town to pay the lesser amount versus the higher amount.
And if I'm understanding you correctly, the difference would have been $20 not using the warranty process, the insurance on the phone.
Using the warranty process would have been $20 more.
That's what I'm seeing.
Yep.
Okay.
For an old phone of 14,
Correct.
and I'm guessing you got a 17.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Appreciate you bringing all this in and
Yeah,
explaining
no,
it.
I know it can be muddy water, so just.
I wish you would have came 3 months ago.
I know, well, yeah, I was trying to provide Jim the information and sometimes how it gets presented or whatnot can make a difference. And I'm not saying I presented it correctly, but hopefully there's some transparency to see how it needs to be.
So the only sticking point at the moment that I see is whether you, and thank you for making the offer and looking into it.
Yep.
No promises I'm
Yep.
hearing right now.
Correct.
Is forgiveness of the outstanding May-June bill.
Yep.
Okay,
I
so we're
will.
waiting to hear back on that.
Yep.
But we're not waiting to do the phone. We've already voted on that. We voted on that 2 meetings ago.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
That was,
Sometimes the wheels of government move slow and
Remember
squeaky,
when
I
we-
guess.
we asked you as chair to go down to the
We
treasurer.
still have the IRS issue.
But don't talk down to me like that, okay?
Yeah.
We voted on
And-
it,
and-
that the phone is gonna be taken care of. You as chair so that you would go down and take care of it.
Yes, you did.
IRS issue or not, Chris just came in, gave us the information that she should be able to log in and get it.
She had a link to
That's
the
a totally
information.
separate issue.
We've just learned that there was a new email that may have locked out the process that Chris is
Okay,
referring
that's
to.
fine, that is 2 separate issues from she's been directed, you've been directed to go to her to get a phone.
And I'm coming back to you with information that's completely
Okay.
relevant to the position of the treasurer. And I don't want to get into an argument about it. These are facts.
You've made it a saga for 3 months.
Exactly.
Your
We need to
words
have
exactly.
Chris-
Saga.
Can you provide to the town office, to Jim, can you print out the itemized phone bill for May through June and June? The
I can
one that ended
probably-
on June 29th, so that the log, Is that
Potentially
possible?
June, May, no. My system only goes back 3 months
What are you saying here again?
for the itemized, I can print an itemized, but not a detailed. So the detailed lists all the phone numbers, all the phone calls. The itemized is item lines of cost, credits, taxes.
We need the former. We need the call information as well as the itemization.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. They're only saved typically in my system for 3 months, so I can't go back any further than that.
She didn't wipe out and delete or deletes. She has a link to the log into the account where she can get the information
Yep.
that she needs.
The
told us that.
business account may have
No, and
more
then that was-
information.
Superseded by new information, Sean. Jim, could you provide the May-June billing cycle information, including the call record?
I can look and see if I can provide that to the town.
You have it. What are we discussing?
You have
I don't
that?
understand.
I don't-
if he didn't get the
Yeah,
bill,
he only has the itemized.
he might not have that.
Yeah.
Part of it.
Yeah, like you have to pay for detailed billing. That's an upgrade to your bill. It's like $5 a month to have itemized, because they're printing off 27 pages of phone calls and text messages versus 4 pages of a bill.
Yeah.
So that is an upcharge, and I don't know that he
I
had
don't
that.
understand. How were you able to provide all the previous information up through April that the treasurer was requesting?
I provided exactly the same thing as what I did then. There were
It's never been
pages,
different.
4 pages, nothing's changed.
I don't know how to explain that.
The only thing I can think of is that Heather went in and got a different IRS after that time, when the whole thing went down, and that's when they needed the itemized.
Every one of
The
those
auditors.
months, every one of those months was, I think, like 4 pages.
That's what a
Stuff.
normal bill is, 4 pages.
And it was included everything on the financial stuff, that's what I had.
The detailed billing, is an elective that you have to pay for.
Bottom line remains the same.
Yep.
If May, June billing can be forgiven, it solves a lot of problems
Yep.
here. Thank you for coming in.
No problem.
Appreciate it. Sorry.
That bill is due now.
Before this discussion is over, I want it on the public record that Jim shows up to talk about the phone or any problems that come from his department. He brought Chris from Verizon, who was kind enough to show up here and set us straight on the program. Where's the treasurer tonight? Why isn't she here to be a part of the discussion and make it solid, closed, and done?
Why are you asking me? Don't you know she's on vacation?
I do know that she's on vacation.
And we didn't know Chris was coming.
All right, and to stretch it way out, they never come. The other part of this crew never comes here to have these kinds of discussions.
Sean, why don't we solve the cell phone first, and if you
Do it.
feel like we need to have a gripe session later, we can put that on the agenda.
We've been 3 months trying to
Sean,
solve.
let's solve the problem tonight.
And we
Thank you,
and we
Chris.
voted for
No
you
problem.
to take care of it 2 weeks ago. Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Chris.
I'll be in touch with you in the morning. Beautiful.
Seriously, Chris, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
no problem at all.
Okay. Next item is the gravel test discussion action. Ron, this is your area?
Yeah, I contacted, Agency of Transportation. They put me in touch with the materials lab person. And I asked him for, an estimate of the cost to get the crushed gravel tested. And he couldn't give me an exact cost. He guessed somewhere in the range of $250. Now, one test doesn't necessarily, you would normally test more than one time in 10,000 cubic yards, but I just thought to get some idea of what the quality of the material was, it would be worth it to have it tested. I believe that $250 estimated cost would test it for gradation, fractured faces, and wear. Not that the fractured faces and wear aren't important, they are, and maybe we want to go with that, but I would think at least the gradation would be a good thing to test. If we decide to do that, then the question is, do we test it against a state specification which differs from our crushing contract spec? There are more sieves involved in the state gradation, and there's one sieve that is in our crushing contract that is not in the state spec. But just so we have some idea, what the quality of the material is. If the board decides to do that, then it's just a matter of, they sent me the sampling procedure. I would go to the garage and Jim could, you need to use a loader and dig into the pile and spread it out, and there's a whole procedure for it to take a proper sample. And then we need to then we need to take it to Berlin, Vermont to have it tested, which I could do, or if it happened to hit when Jim was going over for a class. Your last class is the 18th, is that right?
Second to last class, the 18th.
Second to last is 18th, but anyways, I go that way often enough, and if not, I could just drive it over.
I have that direction sometimes too. $250 test, is there a suggestion we want to do more than one test just so we accurately sample the pile? I presume the assumption is that there's variation within the whole pile.
I would assume, or you don't think?
It's pretty consistent.
Yeah, I don't know. I would think, I mean, we certainly could test it more, but I would think one is,
If that's coming out of my budget,
I would assume that's where it would come, but $250 seems, I don't know. I'm in favor of doing it, but that's just me.
I think we should, so we have a basis in where to start, and where we stand. We've never had it tested.
I think that with, I don't know, I'm not gonna say anything right now.
Yeah, Ron, did you say that with the test, we get information regarding gradation, fracture faces, and wear?
Wear is sort of like the hardness of the stone.
Material itself? Yeah. Like how it survives getting beaten up by tires and things?
So in 10th grade terms, that would tell us the quality of the gravel?
Yes, thank you. And in our crushing contract with Manchester Brook Materials, it does have a gradation, which I said the state one varies. I haven't asked them if we wanted it done exactly according to, I mean, it's not like we're going to reject the material if it doesn't, at least I don't think.
That would be a huge pile.
That would be my question, I guess. And this is just playing the other side. We've already crushed all this. Wouldn't it make more sense as we're crushing the next time to test like the first amount of it? Because right now, why even test it? We've got it.
Just so we know for
So you
future.
know for future.
So,
But you would know the next time they're crushing if you tested it.
Well, you
Right.
know
But then
what
you're
we had.
into it.
right, but what we need to consider here is what is available out there to crush for gravel pits? There isn't any. So in Waterford, unless you're gonna haul from Gerard James Pit or somewhere in Lindenville Way, and then your trucking is astronomical, and you're getting a subpar product. You've got that material right there was 10 cents a yard. So your other alternative is to get your material out of pipe. Now, when you start talking pipe material, you're talking $13 to $14 to $15 a ton versus 10 cents a yard. So we've always used that type of material. Our roads have proven to be very hard and some of the best roads I would say in the state. And so, I mean, we test it and we go, oh, this has such and such qualities. So we're gonna throw that 10,000 yards away, or in the future, we're gonna pass up $10 a yard crushing it
No, I
because
think,
it's subpar.
I firmly believe it should be tested.
I
But we
do
can
too.
test it, but
And I
now
think, I think we need to have it tested because if we end up in a negotiation in regards to a new price, then we wanna make sure we're getting what we're paying
well,
for.
from that perspective, that's up to you guys. But I'm saying as far as having it tested, as far as usage and product availability, it speaks for itself.
How do you mean it speaks for itself?
Right there.
It has its own properties, it has its own characteristics. It might not pass as well as other products, but when you take everything into consideration, as far as the availability, it's right there, it's 10 cents a yard versus having $10,000 in trucking costs to truck in a subpar material from somewhere else. Or go to Pike and you're gonna pay, your budget's gonna go fly through the roof. Because if you crush 10,000 yards, well, I don't mean crush, if you get 10,000 yards or it converted to tons of pipe material, you're not even gonna wanna know what your budget's gonna be for that material.
Unfortunately,
Compared to this.
there's a potential for that anyway.
That's right, you're correct, but I calculate you probably got 2 more crushings over there. And that's if the material stays consistent with the way it's going.
For $250, I think we should do it.
Right.
I'm fully in favor.
And go ahead and do it. You have your other motives or whatever, that's fine.
And I make a motion that we go and get it tested for $250.
I think that, yeah, but you take more than one test. I mean, we can rack up some serious coin here that could be spent elsewhere in my budget.
Well, I think we should just do one test and
See where we are, at least
See
to
where we're
start.
at.
There you go.
It's just we'd have a ballpark figure, you know, we'd have.
Right.
Are you saying that the sampling technique can attempt to sample various locations inside the,
if you had
The
more
gravel
than
pile?
one test.
If you had more than one test, if you test, you're not supposed to just go pick around at different places when on the whole stockpile.
You take a bucket of material out of the pile, you lay it out, and then he performs his test on it. So if you were to do what you're talking about doing, you'd have to take multiple buckets from different places and there would have to be multiple tests.
I had thought you might take multiple buckets from various places on the pile and mix them together and test that.
Because that's not the way that it leaves. If you're digging in one spot and you're hauling it and you're spreading it on the road, that's consistent with that material right there. And if you go over here, it might be vary a little bit. So if you mix them all together, it's not consistent with what's there.
But you had stated that you thought what came out of the gravel pit was relatively
It is,
consistent.
it's as consistent as what it's gonna be. It's your typical bank run face. The only difference is, you have a little sandier composition in some spots, you have more rock in other spots. It is very rocky material. But as far as overall consistency, with it blending in and going through the crushing, it's pretty consistent. As far as the aspects of it.
All right, so procedurally, Kathy has moved that we proceed with the testing. Second,
I'll second it.
Ron seconds. Any further conversation, discussion, concerns? Hearing none, let's move to vote. All in favor of performing one test on the gravel currently sitting at the gravel pit for $250 or thereabout, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ron, you voted?
Yeah. I do.
Okay. It appears the ayes have it, and the ayes do have it, 5-0. All right, thanks for bringing that
Testing
up, Ron.
gravel pit and not stockpile?
He said pit. I don't think
There's
that's
a big
what the
difference.
We're
I don't think
testing the
that's-
stockpile now.
stockpile.
I did say that.
You said residing at the pit.
Did I say that?
Yes, you did.
I apologize. No, it's residing on the town garage property. Thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome.
All right, let's see, that's the gravel discussion. Shadow Lake Road signage discussion.
Next.
Garage project.
Garage bullshit, correct?
It's the garage project, and I think we need to consider the motion letter in that discussion.
Okay, well, that's next, is what we have.
Yeah, thanks, Kathy. No, you're right. All right, garage project. Sean, do you want to open? You have some concerns that I followed the recommendation of the engineer and asked for next step schematics.
I'm happy that we're moving forward, but I do have a problem that you didn't really get board approval to move the process forward. I'm happy that you did, and I would prefer just to discuss moving the process forward.
Okay, I thought you were pretty unhappy about it, and I thought the board was well aware of what Roy Ward had said was the issue of urgency in this case.
I'm good with not having a discussion.
Okay,
Let's talk about moving the project forward, please.
all right, let's do that. I thought I passed all that information here. Does anybody have the proposal from Roy?
In the email?
Yeah. I thought I left the brochure, the last proposal, at home.
So I believe if we're gonna move forward with the design, because I read it, it was 19,500, 5,000, and maybe 6,000 with the three figures. The 19,500 was for a design portion and a financial portion. One of the 6,000s was for permits, and I'm sorry, I'm at a loss on
I'll
what the
have
third
it here in
one
a
was
moment.
for. But he's got his computer, so you should be able to get the email.
The town office said that those two additional costs in the proposal, I think there was question marks next to each one because there was mention of a survey and the town office says we do have a land survey, but we don't have a building survey. And the difference might be important to Roy. I've put the question to him, but he's out for the week. Apparently he's on vacation. I can't get into the email. Does anybody else have access right now?
You don't have email?
Yeah, I do, but I don't think I
Oh,
had
here
that
we are.
email. I think it was before I had access.
The garage schematics?
Yes.
That's the one you want?
Yeah.
There's the email.
There's a, should be an attachment to it, and that's what we want. That's it right there.
And then I believe at the bottom of the email is the numbers.
It's the bottom of the attachment.
Architectural 19.5. Independent process, right? That's the one you want?
Yes, ma'am.
Independent cost estimator was 5,000 and the survey was 6,500.
Yeah, that sounds,
What was the 5,000?
Independent cost estimate,
And the 6.5 was the survey?
yes.
yes, if one does not exist.
Yeah, and a note for the minutes that the survey is potentially an open question because Deb says we do have a land survey, but we don't have a building survey, so it's not clear which survey we need. That Roy's talking about in the quote. I have the document here. So do you have the numbers that were discussed here?
Yeah, she got it.
Okay. I figured how good
The
you are.
19.5, I'm unsure what that one was
Let's do
about.
design.
Architectural,
Architectural design.
independent cost estimator, 5,000, and survey, if one does not exist, 6,500.
And structural engineering not required in this phase, mechanical and electrical engineering not required. And the fees above do not include the cost of reimbursable expenses.
And we don't need the mechanical or structural because it's a new building, so it's presumed to already have those matters built in.
I'd like to make a motion that we proceed with the next step of investigating a new town garage.
Can we have a second?
I'll second that.
All right. Sean moves, Wade seconds. Motion on the table. So, it gets interesting at this point. Actually, before I throw in my understanding and my few cents, anybody have what they want to offer to talk about this process? There are considerations here.
I think we should keep it moving. It's been talked about for years.
Because the third option was repair this roof and raise the wall, and it's still unknown.
That is a bit of an.
whether that's a fix or not.
And Roy's numbers were honestly scary when he was here, just to fix the building.
Yeah, there's like $300,000 difference,
Right.
because now you'll have to bring the building up to code.
Wade, what you're referring to is something different again. Renovation was like going through and gutting the entire building.
Right.
Just repairing the roof and raising the wall is the third option. The question with that is, does that trigger fire marshal safety requirements? And that's still an open question.
Right, but I think, I mean, the facility and my 20%, as you say sometimes, is, my 20% would be that we need a new building. And it needs to be brought to date. So that's what I would be voting on. I wanna make sure that's what you were thinking, is to go in the next, for my second.
Anybody else?
My fear is once we start tearing and doing repairs and piecemeal, it's gonna cost and pretty close to putting up a brand new building. And we don't wanna drag it out any farther than what we already have. It's been
Like the
going
old
on
timers.
forever.
Like the old timers used to say, if you try to go about it on the cheap, it could end up burying you.
There's an engineering saying, don't try to save me money, I can't afford it. Ron?
I think we need a new building too, but if the voters don't think so, once we get to that point,
Then that's their call.
yeah, I
But we
think
gotta
the
put something
fallback
in front of
position. I think the fallback position is a new roof and raise the wall, because I guess it was Wade that said it doesn't make sense to completely renovate the existing building because it's so close to the cost of a new one that it's like, what are we doing? You know, that doesn't make sense to me, but
One thing that I gathered from him too when we met was that if you do complete gut of the existing building, that also by the time you become compliant in putting stuff back in, you will end up with less space than what we have now.
Right.
Right.
So your renovation's close to $300,000 different. You're gonna end up with less space than what you had, and you still got a 60-year-old building.
I think that the two options under discussion right now is almost a no-brainer. If we're gonna be spending that level of money, we're not gonna just try to save 300,000 and stick with a 60-year-old building. That's my opinion, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate now. We do have to put this past the voters, and there's already a close to 8% increase in the taxes that are gonna be levied in the spring. At least that's the understanding in 2027 because of state education funding requirements. So the question is, are the taxpayers of Waterford going to revolt and say, we can't bear that burden?
Again, I don't think we can go on assumption. I think we need to put something before them and let them make that choice.
I agree.
Hear me out on this. We do exactly what Sean is saying. But in the back of our minds, we're thinking, is there some way we can fudge this just long enough to put it in front of the voters again in the year 28, if they reject it in 27?
I don't believe we do.
That's kicking it down.
Well, that's exactly what we're gonna be doing, but again, it's the taxpayers who have to approve the bond. So my thought in this case is, if they reject the bond, how are we gonna do a cheaper project and do everything we need to do? I'm not sure I see that happening, but we could tear off the problematic portion of the garage and put up a Quonset hut to store equipment in it temporarily, absolutely. But we can get to a different point in a year or two.
But what you're assuming is the problem area.
We know there's a lot of problems in that
But my point
garage.
is, we're all concentrated on that addition. We think that that's where the only problems lie. But then again, we don't know. There's a certain sense of uncertainty.
I'm just trying to anticipate the possibility the voters might say, no, we can't, you're killing us with the taxes.
Right.
But I think,
So
yeah, we have Hanson's report that we can show them that the difference is 300,000 that we're talking about. And if we keep putting it off, it's gonna be
More.
more.
And there's potentially other liabilities within that building, without saying the four-letter word out loud, that could become very costly as well.
We have a rough idea what it's gonna cost to fix that.
I think taxpayers would be understanding with the essential services. And it's clear that they want a good active road crew with facilities. I think if we present what's been presented in front of us,
I agree.
Well, I wanna state for my 20% that I recognize exactly the age of the building. It's got innumerable problems and a host of unknowns inside that building. Anything short of a new building, in my opinion, is courting disaster. I'm worried about the taxpayers saying no to it, and that's all I'm worried about.
We gotta take that chance and put it in front of them. And then it shows that we at least did something productive with our time here.
I agree fully, but I also want to have a plan B if we need it, or at least the genesis of a plan
I
B.
think we need to proceed with what we're doing. Plan B, once we get the stuff from Danson, then we can decide what our plan B will be if the voters don't.
There is value in having the schematics, because once we buy them, we own them, and that's available in the future if it needs to be discussed in the future.
And I think that's what we need to do, and we can decide it, once we get the schematics, our
Okay.
two-step process and how we're gonna move from there.
So I believe there's a motion on the board.
There's a motion and a second on the table. Anybody else have anything they'd like to say on this? So the motion has to do with allocating funds for the schematics. And let's look at the budgetary portion of this. We've spent, I think, $7,500 in total so far for the reports we have so far. We have, does anybody remember the number?
It was 27.5 that we started with. So if we spent 7,500, we're down to 20.
Technically, we can afford the entire schematics, assuming we don't need the survey. We have a $5,000 addition. The treasurer has still told me that there are pockets of money this could fund the project through this year in this budget.
Well, there's money set aside for the maintenance of the building. We've set $25,000
$25,000
every, once or twice or three times.
every year, there is one.
We have, so there's money set aside for the maintenance of the building.
That's my understanding from the
That
treasurer.
it could come out of there if we had to, because that's what it is.
Okay, so any other concerns, considerations?
No, go.
All right, for it. There's a motion and second on the table to accept the E.H. Danson proposal to develop schematics. And the assumption here has to be that the schematics are produced and billed before December 31st. Anybody disagree? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Quick mention about the VOSHA letter. Has everybody had a chance to look at it?
Yes.
The letter is somewhat bare of detail, but it says problems in the ceiling. I presume that's in the added portion of the garage. And there's a risk of the ceiling falling. The clerk has responded to the request for additional information regarding our numbers of employees. And I think that may have bearing on the further requirements from the state, but we don't know yet how that works out. So I think that's the state of that concern and the state's involvement right now. Jim, do you know anything else or different?
I haven't heard anything. That's why I sent a message the other day asking for a copy of the report.
Well, let's put on the record that the notice of alleged safety or health hazard states, and it's only one here that states, garage roof is unsound, possibly exposing employees to debris fall, period. Town garage, period. That's what we have so far, and it's only an allegation. They haven't given us a compliance requirement yet. So that's our status
I
there.
believe we also have another report that we haven't all been made privy to in regards to the four-letter word in the place.
Everybody has a copy of that. We did a scraping sampling from the wall, and it came back as positive for mold. There was a long Latin name for that mold. I have no idea what it means or whether it's problematic or not. Anybody want to do some digging into that?
I'm good as long as it's brought up,
Okay.
because that can be another avenue in persuading the town folks on why we need a new garage for the health and safety and well-being of the folks who work in it.
Fully agree. Okay, anything else under town garage at this moment? It's definitely a fluid work in action.
The
Okay.
vote was 5-0, right?
Yes.
Oh.
All right, that concludes garage project and OSHA letter. Shadow Lake Road signage, discussion and action. The stop sign is missing. Jim indicates that the stop sign is missing possibly for as much as 2 years. The previous boards back in 2024, according to Jim, have discussed the stop sign. I'm not sure what's happened. Well, apparently nothing has happened.
2023, I believe, isn't it?
2023 was when they.
That was a discussion about what should go there. As far as the sign actually being there, I don't remember it ever being there.
Okay, well,
But there was a discussion with the previous select board.
yeah, he just said 2024. I thought
I think.
it was 2023, but because I don't think it's been discussed. I don't know. Kevin was on the board then. I don't remember ever discussion about it in 2024.
No, it was 2023.
Ron, did you see the sign?
Yeah,
The sign is there.
So.
it just so the cat's out of the bag,
Put it out.
the sign's in the ditch.
Well, it is actually,
There's a,
You would know it with all the grass and stuff.
well,
We
it's,
lifted it
we
up
lifted it up.
onto the, that sawed in half water trough that's in the ditch as well.
okay.
So that would be reinstalled for the time being, and we still need to figure out what can actually go there.
Yeah, yeah, I thought you guys were gonna take a look at it and have recommendations.
I didn't know that it was there. I think Ron
You had to-
did some investigating.
Well, I stopped there. Well, yeah, you saw me stop there and Keith Powers came down to talk with me and I said, do you ever remember a stop sign being there? Because even though I go by there, you know, it's like, I had a conversation with Dave Morrison recently about the sign on at Mad Brook in Old County South. And I said, what's a stop sign there? He says, no, it's a yield. And I've been a yield
It's
forever.
been a year for a long time.
But so, but I asked him if he remembered a stop sign being there. And he said, yes. And
If there's enough
He
space
thought
down here to
that it was
actually
there
bury.
when
Whatever happened.
you guys were digging to try
I can't tell
to
if it was sheared off or something.
unplug a culvert there. But anyways, he got talking about it and got looking. And sure enough, right beside that
Yeah,
water trough, the post is there
Have
and
you
the
seen
sign
it,
is
Jim?
attached to
Are
it.
you curious?
What?
It was right there next to that
no, I know
water
what
truck.
he's talking about, cause I know where that water trough is, cause he usually sticks that in front of the end of the pipe, trying to block.
I'd like to make a motion that we instruct the road foreman to put the stop sign back up at this time, and that whoever's gonna do a study to whether it should become a yield or a stop sign, be presented at the next board meeting.
I don't know if we could get something that fast, and the only reason I say so is that doesn't it have to go through the state if there's gonna be a change to that, signage?
So how about 3 months?
Well, I could, between now and the next meeting, I could check with the agency of transportation to see what the
Yeah,
steps
I
are.
don't know if in that, we need clarity on that.
Ron, you can if you want, I can find out tomorrow. And
What's that?
I can find out tomorrow and let you all know. You can call if you want, but I've got a meeting, so.
Okay, yeah, if you're, no, I don't mind, but somebody else taking care of it.
But I would second just putting the sign up.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion, Hannah, that was you, Sean,
Yes, sir.
and Wade's seconds. Further discussion? It seems like a no-brainer. All in favor of reinstalling the sign at the corner of Shadow Lake Road and County Road C? And you know which corner it has to go onto, right? I believe it's the southwest corner.
That's coming up the hill,
That's coming out the hill.
right there on the side.
Yeah, right there next to the ditch, probably.
Yeah.
The sign is on the Shadow Lake Road, correct?
The sign,
Where
The
it meets,
sign would be on County South,
Old County Road.
coming up the hill,
I'm sorry, you're right,
on the right-hand side,
Yeah.
right there by his water trough.
as you're heading
That's where the stop sign.
towards the river.
Yep.
Did we vote?
no,
Okay, motion and second on the table. All in favor of reinstallation of the sign, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Done deal. Here's the ayes have it. The ayes do have it. Shadow Lake fence, discussing action. What are we talking about here? Was that, what we spoke with Keith Powers about?
yes, it is. And I wanted to say it then, but I was also on a mission then, so I didn't want to be, I'd already talked with Keith a fair amount this morning, and I didn't want to be there too long. But Keith said something about wanting to install it, and tell me if I'm wrong, Tim, if I misunderstood that. Wanting to put new fence in, but he was worried that it was gonna get hit, by this snowplow or wing or whatever. And the thought that came to my mind is, well, if you put it at the edge of the right of way or just outside this town's right of way, and then if we hit it, then it's, I would think it's kind of on us, but if we have it within the right of way, then.
But that's how this all came about, because Sean Goss was going up, this is years ago. Sean Goss was coming up County South, went to turn down Shadow Lake Road. And when he did, it was wet, heavy, slippery snow. His front end slid in trying to push that snow. It pushed him right across the road. The point of his plow hit into his fence on the opposite side of the road. He didn't do anything. He tore up a little bit of turf right there and touched the fence. He didn't break the fence. Well, Keith was right in an uproar over this whole thing. Wanted the town to replace his fence and blah, blah, blah. And it was just a full-blown thing, out of control. So he thought he was gonna get all kinds of new fence out of it. He went and got estimates and the whole 9 yards. And I presented to the board, he's got his fence right tight to the road. It's an issue. He can't properly maintain the road the way that his fence is. And not only that, but if he is to put his fence outside the right of way, then we have no reason to hit his fence. And then it alleviates the whole issue. So Mike Barrett, as the chair of the board, he sent a letter, I have the letter. He sent a letter to Keith Powers stating that his fence is in the right of way. Please remove your fence from the right of way as soon as possible. Well, Keith has never acted on that. So there has been one letter that has been brought to Keith Powers telling him to remove his fence from the right of way. And I maintain that if he did that, then you saw it today, going down Shadow Lake Road, how that road's all scoured. It's completely causing a lot of erosion issues due to the fact that his fence is right tight to the road. He's got several different places where his fence is, and he purposely puts it right above his garage now. He's got a new fence there. It's right tight on the edge of the road. It isn't off the road that far. How am I supposed to maintain the edge of the road and get water to shed off the edge of the road when I gotta deal with his fence?
Let me add to this conversation. Ron and I met accidentally at the same time at the site today, because I was going out to take a look as well. And the conversation we had with Keith was that he wants to reinstall his fence. He's completely cognizant of the 25-foot road width plus the full 49-foot wide entire right-of-way. So that's not technically an issue. What he did say was that, in his opinion, the road has been creeping wider and a certain direction towards his fence over the years from grading and whatever else is going on. So he feels he doesn't have the assurance that he could spend $20,000 to put in a good fence and that it would remain outside of the road's wide right of way. I'm not defending anything, I'm just presenting what he's told me today, what he told both of us.
He's got,
Playing devil's advocate, why don't we go out there or have the road crew go out there and measure it and mark it?
that's right.
And that way, going forward into the years, when we may not even be back here anymore, when they ditch the road, they make sure that it stays a certain width from his fence, and then we got a solution maybe.
Like further devil's advocate, why couldn't anybody remove whatever marker is put out there and moved it to their
Doesn't
favor?
that stuff get all recorded down at the town
No,
office?
now you're talking about a survey.
It's measured from the center of the road.
There's from the center of the road.
It's from the center of the
State
road.
law.
But if the road,
If the road's creeping wider, then
Yeah.
that's less, you're getting tighter to the right of way, the end of the right of way.
Yeah.
Still measured from the center of the road.
but the right of way would be moving commensurate with the road creep.
So then you need to move his fence back,
No,
and
it's
that's
Not
not
if it's
fair.
the center of the road, the center road is gonna be the same.
You got the center of the road with the crown in it, the center of the crown. And when you grade the roads, you have that crown in the center
Well,
of
I'm
the road.
following that argument, but there's drainage on the side of the road too, and can't that drainage erode one side of the road?
You've got the road eroding now. It's a complete catastrophe up there because of the fact you can't get the water to sheet off the road due to the buildup. You gotta eliminate that buildup. You've gotta, that's the whole idea with the pictures you saw earlier, is that is all part of this grants and aid stuff. It's all about the hydraulically connected things. You need to get the water to sheet off the road, which means eliminate that greater berm, eliminate that berm on the side. Because a berm that high will trap water and it'll make it go until that berm ends. And Keys, over at Keys, it's probably that high. And so the water can't get off, so it just, all these hard rains that we have, it's just going right down the road. It's that wide where it's scoured and washed now. And there's nothing I can do about it because I can't get the water off the road.
I'm following your argument.
And that happens, it's a constant maintenance issue because your winter sand with the rains and stuff, it goes to the shoulder. Your grass grows, you get sod buildup. So you constantly have to maintain that shoulder in order to get the water so that it will run off the road when it contacts the road instead of running down the road. That's when you get erosion.
The question is still, how do we satisfy a resident who wishes to install a fairly expensive fence and not have to worry about it in the future?
You mark right off the center of the road, paint mark right down through there, 25 feet off the center.
And put some stakes up,
Excuse me?
put some stakes up, so.
Yeah, well, you're talking your average travel lane. Yes, you do run into, there's a spot down below on Shadow Lake Road where the road has grown over the years and it has gotten wide. But it can't go any further than what it is. It needs to be pulled back.
They can't ditch on that corner. They can't do the roadside mowing because the fence is there. And now the grass is high and it's hard to see down the road, because I do go that way
That's right.
quite frequently, to see if there's a car coming up the road. And when you pull out, you sometimes have to pull into the other lane and you can't see because there's no.
But see, it does drop off there, even if you put the fence down on the lower level right there, enough so we could maintain that that can get that berm off the road, and it's the same thing going down towards, Ricky's, on Ricky's Hill. Same thing on that right-hand side. The wash, and it's a constant battle. I don't have time with the grader to keep going up there every time it rains hard. You know, you maintain your roads, you hone them up and you get them cut the way that they need to be cut, and you move on to other stuff. But every time it rains, I wasn't up there too long ago, and I have to cut it all again and reshape it. It's quite demanding and it's quite time consuming having to mess with this.
So let's solve the one problem we can solve, and the board doesn't have your experience as a road equipment operator, and we're not here to do that tonight, but Powers wants to build his fence. Do we need an action item to ask the foreman to go up, mark the road, mark the, extend it right of way?
I wouldn't think so. We ask them to do stuff all the time,
That's what I'm thinking. So can we do that?
right?
Yeah, we can go up there and do that. I'll mark it on,
When you say
Ricky,
we,
Bill?
I don't want to be involved anymore.
no, you're gonna have me and Sean, because somebody has to hold the tape on the center of the road, the other person has to hold the tape on the other.
Perfect.
At the 25 and mark it as you go down through. It's a two-person job.
All right, and thank you.
And I'll mark out Shadow Lake Road, I'll mark out Ricky's Hill, which is County South Road, and the upper part of Shadow Lake Road above the intersection.
Up to Tito's.
Yeah.
I presume that resolves the Martell fence, the Shadow Lake fence issue. Does
Well,
it also resolve the Martell fence issue?
No.
No,
No, I understand that.
did
It's
you,
different.
who was it you? Was gonna talk with Roger about what he had in the cul-de-sac thing?
From what I found out, I didn't ask Roger whether there was some sort of agreement when he made the cul-de-sac. I asked in the town office whether they knew of any agreement, and they said, no, it was just decided to put the cul-de-sac there so you could turn around. I went up there, I measured off the road, and the end of that white wooden fence, rail fence, is, now I didn't bring the figures with me, but it's outside the town right away.
It would be on that.
He kind of surprised me when I talked to him about it, because he'd also mentioned a couple of, I call them guideposts, guardrail posts just prior to his mailbox that were, according to Roger, were knocked down. I found the posts. I don't know when they were knocked down, but I thought he would want the fence repaired that was outside the right of way. And I don't know if he was looking to get the posts reset. The posts are still there. I don't believe they're broken.
No,
But what he said was he'd like the 2 white posts removed, put where the others were prior to his mailbox, and just shorten the fence by, it would be, you'd have to shorten it to the end post, second post, and the third post, because then you'd have rail not hanging to any post if you took 2 of them. I'm just telling you what he was asking for.
so now we're doing stuff outside the,
So for me, my 2 cents and my 20% here would be that the posts, which are probably within the 25 feet of the center of the road, we should replace. And the fence is really on them because it's outside the 25 feet.
I would think just the opposite of that. I would think
that we hit it.
that what's outside the right of way, we would have to repair or replace. And what's within the right of way is,
Why are they coming now? Now we're headed to fall.
well,
This all happened last winter. Where they been?
he said that he didn't call at first because it was winter and he, knew they were busy, weren't gonna be doing it in the, repairing his fence in the winter. He said he left Jim 2 messages. The last one was, I forget what I put in the email now. I put in what he told me, but he said he left 2 messages. One was once we got into spring, and then we didn't hear back. And he said he called again, I don't know, a month or 2 ago.
He did leave a message, he left one message this spring, and that pertained to his road. That had nothing to do with the post.
I'm just,
I didn't understand, I didn't know anything about it. Then Sean told me that Rick had told him that he had hit the post. That he put his wing down on the post. He backed around there and went to come out, dropped his wing, that's how he got on those posts, or that
By
post.
the mailbox,
No.
No, the one-
Right.
the white fence.
That's what Sean told me just the other day when I, that was brought up.
he also, and I didn't really see this very well, but he said that there was some material deposit on the right side just as you're going into his driveway that if the loader was up there or whatever was up there, if it could back drag it, it's a little hump, it's not anything too serious.
So what do we need to do here?
Well, it depends on what you wanna do. Do you want to do what he's asked, or do you want me to go back and ask him if he wants? It's my feeling that we should repair the fence.
That's outside the right of way.
That's outside the right of way. I don't know if it's more or less, I would say it's probably more work to pull those posts and reset them over there. Because really what you need is, to fix the fence is, I think they're 1 inch,
Like 1x5 boards.
1x5 boards. Between the first 2 posts, they're 6 feet. The second one is, I think that's an 8-footer. Because that one isn't attached to that second post on the top. I think it's on the top.
But it might pay too to ask Gary, seeing as how he's in zoning, and he's a face around here, of his time on the board. Because I know that the Stony Brook cul-de-sac, we had issues with that. And Bill Willis and Gary, somehow they had it calculated what the dimensions of that cul-de-sac was. And I'm sure that probably Gary, well, I won't say sure, but I think that Gary would remember the Roger Martell thing. If that's the case, and there is a certain circumference of that, then technically it wouldn't be outside the right of way, or maybe it would. I don't know.
I don't know how you expand it.
So for
Yeah, it's worth asking.
Because I think that they
shouldn't say
probably
like
had
that.
certain specs when you put that in order to make it big enough for vehicles to turn around there.
Irregardless of all of that, folks, I think we just heard that it was the responsibility, the brokenness from our snowplow driver.
Yeah.
Therefore, it would be the town's responsibility to mend the fence and fix it.
And the fix, in your opinion, is Ron and Jim reattaching the 1x5s, or do we have to purchase and
You have to
reattach?
purchase them.
Yeah, they're broken.
He's got screws in them, they're big lag screws, and they're rotted and broken.
Well, how much of the damage is due to the fact that the material itself might have been pushing the limits of its
There's
age?
no doubt in my mind about that.
So,
That fence has been up there for years.
and they get a new fence out of this?
Well,
A couple of
It's
boards.
just, it's like 3 boards
It's
tops.
3 boards to
Yeah,
repair.
4 boards, there's two, a high one and a low one, I believe.
Yeah, there are. I
Got
just
4
I
boards.
just thought one was still
1 by
attached,
5.
but yeah, we could put 4 boards in there.
Fix it and send him a Christmas card. Merry Christmas from the town of Waterford.
Do we need to make a motion to?
I'm just reading Ron's email. Ron measured the fence 39 feet from the center line of the road right of way should be 24.75 feet from the center line, so well outside the center line. All right.
Yeah, and I just split the road the best I could with the tape and then measured from that to the,
But I also think that it would be smart to stick something in there about the fact that the reason that we're fixing this is because it was outside the right of way. Because if you don't, then
Can of worms.
can of worms as far as mailboxes and everything else, which we do not fix.
Yep.
You wanna make a motion, Tom?
I don't mind making a motion. I'll make a motion that we fix the fences. We just discussed the boards, replacing the boards that need to be replaced. However, we don't do modifications. So I would say fix what we broke.
I'll second that.
And the painting will be up to the hotels.
I don't know, what's is normal? Do you?
Yes, painting is up to the Martells.
The fence is white, isn't it? Painted white?
The fence is painted white.
Okay, so, motion does not include painting the fence,
Okay,
or that's what I'm proposing.
I'm good with that.
I'm good with that.
Okay, so Wade, you moved,
I moved it.
and Sean, are you seconding?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there's a motion and second on the table. It involves buying up to 4 pieces of 1x5 wood. How long are they?
2 of them are 6 and the other, I think, are 8.
So you're
Okay.
gonna get 4 8-foot boards.
That feels narrow to me, though. I would, as far as narrowing it to 4 boards, if you get up there and see that something else, I would say get the materials needed to
Materials needed.
fix,
To fix what was broke.
Right.
just in case,
I'm fine with that.
you know,
1x5 boards. Okay. To not include painting.
right.
Any further discussion?
I think we ought to paint it, just because that's what we broke. We broke painted boards.
We broke, painted, soft, failing boards. So I think
Yes.
this is a good split the difference, in my 20%.
No, that's what you want.
Anybody else? Different opinion?
Buy white ones.
I'll get plastic.
I mean, for that matter, you could buy that Trex
Yeah.
crap that you don't even have to paint.
It'd be cheaper to buy regular boards and paint them, I'll tell you that.
Trex is a little on the pricey side.
Any other, points, opinions, 20%? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of the motion to repair the boards outside of the town's right of way, but not to paint them, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
No,
1 nay. Here's the ayes have it, and the ayes do have it. There were 4 ayes, I'm checking.
Yes.
Okay, 4 to 1, Hannah? Ron, I presume you would have gone for the painting as well?
yes. That's what we broke.
So that's the Martell fence. Beaver Dam, Slate Ledge Road. Kathy, well, actually, it came to all of us. Colin Fucci, Fire Chief, notified us that there is a beaver dam that's overflowing the road now on Slate Ledge. And I presume that's a culvert issue that has to get unclogged. Jim, do you want to take it away?
This is the first I'm hearing of it. You said something about it earlier.
I think it's that first one, isn't it, Ron? Because I went up there and it's pretty wet, just as you go down in.
That's right, yeah, you just go down and around the corner.
But I couldn't see a culvert, but
There's
No,
a big
there's-
culvert there, but the road is low on both sides of that. But it probably is. They probably got in there and they plugged that culvert, but then it also could be, it's just below that road, the road's like this.
right.
Just on the right-hand side, the Styles Pond side of it, they had been building dams in there. So I don't know if they built a big enough dam on the low side so it's backed up and caused that problem, or if it's actually the culvert where the road is, if that's the issue. I just found out about it, so.
Right here.
I know we discussed it at the March 23rd meeting.
All right, let's,
What's our responsibility as a town?
And I would say if that's the case,
None of
then
that's
it's probably,
class
they probably
four
built
roads,
the
so
dams
right
below.
there.
It's our responsibility to maintain class 4 roads,
Can we fix?
so it needs to be fixed.
It's our job to maintain the culverts and bridges on class
You know,
four,
the first heavy rain and the whole thing blows out.
not maintain the roads. Unless it's so choose to do so.
Jim, say all that again?
To abide by state standards which we've adopted, class 4 roads, the only thing that we're responsible to do is maintain bridges and culverts on class 4 roads. And even that being said, you can rip out the culverts.
Cannot.
You can. But we are not obligated to maintain the roads.
I'm just wondering if we could have Jim take a look at that.
Well,
this
that's what
week,
I'll have to do.
And then we report back the next
Right.
meeting.
Yeah,
Well, how do you go about unplugging a culvert? You just bring an excavator up and
Excavator and thumb and maybe a pole or
some
a piece of
dynamite?
wood and drive it through the culvert. It's all kinds of different things you gotta do, but with the picture that I just saw, it looks to me like there's a dam down below that's causing that to back up.
Huh.
Yeah, I didn't go out and look
You
at it.
drove in from 18 to get to
Yeah,
this
you just go
spot?
into 18,
Yeah.
mountain bike down through there.
What's the board's pleasure on this? Colin's worried about fire safety. Why would that be the case if you can get to Slate Ledge a less
That's
adventurous way?
That way too.
Or was he concerned about firefighting safety in the forest?
That's the way I took it. That's why I think if Jim just were to check it out and see if he could do it.
Right, I'll have to look at
That
it.
would be the.
I'll have to look at it and I can tell right off if it's a plug culvert issue or if it's a dam issue below. And if it's a dam issue down below, we've got a problem. Because you're not gonna get a machine down there in order to bust that loose, I don't believe.
Playing devil's advocate, we get several inches of rain and all of that starts to flow hard and it overflows the road and blows out the culvert. What then?
It won't happen.
Why are you so confident? I thought the water's already going across the road.
It's ponded on the road. It's not running
It's not
across the road. It's stagnant water. And the way that the road is shaped, you come down the hill, you've got a low spot. Then you go up the hill and there's the culvert. And then you go down the other side. So that is gonna run over the road long before it takes that culvert out. And it's flat in there. So you're never gonna build enough head pressure to blow that culvert out. There's no way.
so is that gonna be, if the dam is off, is that St. Johnsbury's problem, or?
Yes, it would be.
Cause isn't that St. Johnsbury land,
That's
or
St.
is it
Johnsbury land.
Dennis
Oh.
Smith's property?
Why are we even having this conversation if it's St. Johnsbury Lane?
We don't know.
Well, it's our
Take a look
road.
at it.
It's our
It's
road.
our road, but it's St. J owns the sides of it. So if I go out there and I determine that it's because of the dams that are down below on St. J's property causing our problem, then we've got another discussion.
Right.
Oh, but St. J owns the land because of,
It's part of their watershed
Part of their
area.
watershed.
So why don't we have somebody contact St. J and make a memorandum for them to,
Well, let's
see
see
what the
what,
problem
let's see
is.
what
And
the
then
problem
we do
is
have
first.
people that we work with for beaver eradication. So, I mean, we have options here.
So
Yeah,
Jim
'cause we-
needs to check it out and
I need
report
to
back.
go and look at it and determine what needs to be done.
do I understand that in your theory, the water level on both sides of the road is pretty close to equivalent?
Pretty close. It's the strangest thing you've ever seen. You've got a hole, then you go up a hill, and there's the culvert. And then it goes down the other side. It's like any amount of water that builds up, it's gonna go on both sides of it, and the culvert's sitting there in the middle.
Alright, so your point is the culvert's not gonna blow up, but the road still might.
Well, it's just flowing water. It's not, that stuff is down to the bare bones. You're not gonna wash that road out, guaranteed.
isn't
Too
that
flat.
road, once you keep going up past all that, in really rough shape?
I believe so.
They tried to fix
Yeah, I
it.
think so.
But they did fix, the Skidoo Club did fix where we were talking about last year. That had washed all
You're on
out.
that, aren't you?
That's all been fixed.
Jeremy,
I do believe Chad Whitehead does know about this also.
Yeah.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
So the bottom line is we need more information from the foreman
Yeah.
about how to address this.
Yeah,
When was the email sent from Colin?
Sunday,
Last Sunday?
just
Oh,
yesterday.
So Jim didn't have time to respond to
No,
it.
yesterday morning.
I have a question if it's fire safety that we're concerned about. Now, I realize this is a different situation, but Campbell Road got washed out in the 24 flood, was it? Or 23, 24, I think?
24.
23. Oh, 24.
He got washed out 2011, got washed out in 24.
And, you know, that hasn't been, we haven't repaired that because it's low priority, but there's quite a bit of, in that one, there's no other way to get in there, you know?
Yeah.
And that would take several loads of material to get that
We
one.
gotta fix the road. We need to figure out, and I think it'd be a good thing, we gotta go over our road inventory deal. Because we gotta come up with new policies on our roads. Because of the simple fact, you've got some class 4 roads that we grade once a year. We've got some that we don't. We've got some that we plow in the wintertime. We've got some that we don't. You have no uniform, structure in place for your classification of roads. I mean, it's like, you do some here, but you don't do some there. And then you've got people that are moving in now that are saying, hey, you do that one, why don't you do mine? That's starting to take place more and more frequently. So we've got to come up with a uniform road policy here, because that's class 4 road. Well,
Campbell Road is a class 4 road.
class 4 road. So.
Is it a culvert that washed out?
You can't get to the culvert. Now, we're talking about the road. We don't maintain that road.
Are there houses out there?
There's one camp out there
It's
below the one house
Right.
where it washed. But the culvert, the big culvert is way down that road. So,
yeah, that stone box or whatever it is. That's the worst part that I saw. I mean, I didn't go beyond it. I've been down there before, but I drove down today. In fact, that's where I was when you called me.
yeah. And
Is there an action we need there, Ron?
No, I just, you know, Colin brought that up, and if they're worried about, like, you know, if kids going out there and having a bonfire and starting a forest fire, it could happen on Campbell Road too.
Yeah, because if that
And you
mountain
couldn't
caught on
get it.
fire, that's the only way out there. You know?
Well, and has he still got his gate up?
No, there's no gate.
There's no gate down?
Well,
I think.
there wasn't as far as until the stone box. I didn't go beyond there.
So you're talking about going straight or turning left and going down that way to the camp?
No, going straight.
Yeah, right there going left. He had put up a gate there, the owner.
I believe there's a gate. Yeah, gate's
And
still.
and that's another, thing that has been discussed in the past. And actually, I think that it was determined that we were gonna take that gate down. Because that landowner, that's a class 4 road.
I believe they wrote a letter to him a year or two ago.
They did. And he still keeps locking that gate or putting that gate back.
See, I thought the gate was out on Campbell Road, out by the snowmobile trail. I haven't walked out there since.
The left hand right there that goes down the camp.
I
It
haven't.
just,
I've never been out.
Because if that stays there within a certain period of time, he has the right to lock that gate and nobody gets down there, but it is a class 4 road. So he should not be able to, which there has been a letter said, he needs to take that fence down.
I know I just drove down there, Dan. Sure, there's a gate there. I don't know whether it's locked or not.
That gate's gotta be taken down.
Sorry.
Can we stick a pin in that for the time being?
Yep.
Is there anything we have to come back to on that? Ron?
Yeah, I think we need to come back to it.
Campbell Road?
Because it's either to make a decision not to do anything or to go down there and fix the road, so it's, I don't know if you could get through there with a 4-wheel drive pickup. 4-wheelers have been going over it, but
All right, so item for next
meeting. All right, thank you, folks. Let's see, that's Martell Fence stipend determination. I think this is a really short item.
I make a motion that we remove the road commissioner stipend and stick to the selectman stipend.
I don't think we even need a motion, only because there's no double dipping.
Can
Other
we,
thoughts?
I agree that it should be removed, but he's been a road commissioner for 2 months, so do we take that $1,500 and
I think you'd be,
paying it over 12 months and then pay him for 2?
how do we do it for select board members that come in partially through the term? Don't they get a prorated?
Prorated amount.
Prorated?
Yeah, I proposed that a proration for this commissioner stipend would be appropriate in this case. Ron, would you see anything
I'm just
unfair about
asking, that's
that?
all.
I don't think it's unfair. No, I mean,
It doesn't matter to me, I just am asking.
No, I want to make sure people are treated fairly and they're getting the benefit of their bargain.
are you asking if it's unfair to get the road commissioner prorated for the
Period of
2 months
time.
or period of time I was just road commissioner?
Just road commissioner. That's
No,
all.
I don't think that's unfair.
Okay, anybody else have a feeling about that?
Nope, I just wanna ask the question, if we're prorating to pay 2 months of road commissioner, are we prorating the number of months as selectmen?
I think
That's how it's always
That's,
done.
that's always done anyway,
And I'm good.
that's prorated.
So I don't know that I see the need for a action here. Does anybody disagree? No? Okay. All right, the Lander update. I'm just wondering how to approach this.
I don't mind cutting the ice, the checks were sent, did you receive them?
Have not.
All right, so by way of update then, Kevin, we have agreed as a board in previous open meetings to remail the checks that we had presented to you in the meeting Sean and I had with you,
On 6:30, yes.
6:30 or thereabouts.
Oh.
Same checks, they're coming in the mail, and in that mail is also the payment for the gravel extracted this year, plus the annual easement, and we did not subtract the easement value from the gravel that we're paying for.
And they were sent certified.
They're coming certified, so we know that they were delivered. You don't have to sign for it, but we want record that they were delivered. And what you do with them at that point is up
This
to
right
you.
here?
I can't see that.
It's a certified slip.
Signature required.
Signature required?
Yes.
We just wanted signature of the post-delivery person that they had delivered it.
A severe thunderstorm warning.
I was on vacation,
Your location.
Okay,
and I don't plan on signing it, because when I sign that, I'm acknowledging that you guys have not made a mistake.
we're just covering our,
I know what you're doing.
what we're.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know that we're having a conversation about this tonight. We've got opinions and statements we can trade back and forth.
Right, so in our meeting on 6:30, Sean and I and my wife and my son discussed a whole bunch of stuff. Was that brought back to the whole board? Executive session.
We met with you on which day?
6:30.
The 30th, okay.
By your response, I'm saying, I'm gonna assume it's not.
No, I will,
Whatever
I'll
discussion.
answer.
Not all.
I'll answer that the meeting that we had
Yes.
with you folks was discussed here with the board.
All of it.
It's best to our ability.
So as far as a landowner, we had concerns of noise, hours
No
of
what?
operation,
Know what?
noise, hours of operation.
We have no disagreement with you about this. Assuming we're going forward, we're gonna be handling these parts much differently.
So the
Notice, proper time that doesn't violate your privacy and security and right to enjoyment of your property during normal.
So the update
Hours.
that you're giving me is that you sent me a check.
That's correct.
That's your update.
That's the
And in
update,
that check, what's the amount per cubic yard?
as it's provided in the deed.
Okay,
Now, we are aware that you may be unhappy with that amount. There's a lot more conversation that needs to take place if there's going to be a negotiation, and I don't think we are prepared to do that tonight.
when will we be prepared to do that?
Well, speaking for myself, my 20%, I suspect that we ought to be going back into executive session because it is a contract matter and develop a plan for how we want to address what we heard from you at the 6:30 meeting.
Right, I gave you 3 different pit quotes for gravel per yard. You can.
We have taken that under advisement, and we will take that under advisement. I have the notes.
And you said you'd do $1.19 for, what was it, increase?
No,
Cost of
what
living.
I said was
Cost
that
of
if
living.
you took $1 in 1950, whatever the date of the deed was, and brought it up to current today, it would be $1.19, it would be $19.
So you just, okay, so it's not something you were offering us.
That was not an offer, but it could be a starting point.
Can I just ask one question?
Yes.
You were on the board when the 24 gravel was crushed.
Yes, it was.
You didn't get off until March.
Right,
So why did you not
never gave it a thought,
bring it up then?
never gave it a thought, honestly.
Okay, I just was curious.
And I would have not brought it up because it would have been a conflict of interest if I would have thought of it. You would have made me.
I hear the statement you're
No,
making.
because you were part of the.
Yeah, no.
You were part of the crushing.
I'm not accepting that as a valid reason. I'm just acknowledging that you've made it, and I'm not gonna argue with you about it tonight. So my 20% is that the board go to executive session, not tonight, because we have other things, but address it in the near future. Any other thoughts?
So my thought is that a negotiation, anything like this, is a two-way street, and a good faith effort would be to cash the checks and have a negotiation about how we move forward.
The town has done what it needs to do pursuant to the deed, and we've tried to rectify the oversight that was made in 2024. That's our current status. Does the board wish to essentially kick this can enough down the road that we can go into executive session in the future to discuss this as a contractual matter?
Yeah, I would say yes, but sooner than later, we owe it to the Glanders as well as the town to get this resolved.
Well, I agreed. Any other thoughts about it? Kevin, any responses?
Well, this is done,
Always a pleasure to see you.
always.
All right, then let's see, festival permit discussion and action. Kathy, you have a copy of it?
I gave it to you tonight,
That's dangerous.
the one that needs to be signed. I gave you the original.
That's more dangerous. For exactly this reason. Oh,
It's right there.
it's right here. Okay. Davies Memorial Library wants to hold its Waterford Block Party. This is an annual thing, by the way, but this year, instead of June, which is what they've done in the past, they want to hold it October 2nd, 2026 at the fire department on Duck Pond Road, 5 to 7 p.m. The Davies Memorial Library is the sponsor. It looks like this is filled
I
out
make a
correctly.
motion that we accept the permit as presented.
I'll second it.
Anybody want to look at this? fee has been waived because the library is a nonprofit. Sarah Kenny, the new librarian, has signed this and dated July 30, 2026. So, further discussion? There's no special conditions. Well, I guess we can make special conditions if we want. I don't think we ever have.
None.
Take a motion to approve the Davies
You
Library
need a
permit.
permit,
No, I think you've already got a motion, don't you?
Yeah,
Who made the motion?
Sean,
Sean moved. Who seconds? Any second?
did you say?
I second it.
Okay, Kathy seconds. Further discussion? Motion and second on the table. I'm hearing no further discussion. Let's vote. All in favor of approving the Davies Memorial Library activities festival permit for October, what did I say, 2nd, 2026? Please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, appears the ayes have it. And the ayes do have it.
Is that October 2nd or 22nd?
Second. So the last item tonight is agenda items for next.
Citizens concerned.
Oh, good lord. Thank you. Oh, I see, that was buried right at the bottom. Okay, citizens' concerns. I'm just taking note, we have few citizens.
My son.
That's your son, okay. I just want to know who we have in the audience. I'm seeing one citizen concern.
That's another one.
So Kathy just asked me why I didn't bring up the payment while I was a select board member. Okay? Now, I want you to think that. Was that on the select board agenda to make sure I get paid $100? It's never been.
Did you ask me?
Yeah, when you were on the board.
I recognize that we,
It's always a trigger downstairs from the treasurer. Always has been.
Okay, yep.
Payment of the gravel has always been a trigger from downstairs. Based on slips from Jim.
No.
Or whoever.
Right.
Crusher.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you ask me that, I wonder why you asked me that. Because you're just signing.
I'm recommending that the board not answer, but you're welcome to make your comments, Mr. Galander. That's my 20%.
Being on the board, I know how it works, you know. How it used to work. It's always worked. She cuts a check. You sign for it. You sign it's good. She pays it. The trigger is downstairs, not sitting right here.
Do you have anything else, Mr. Galander?
So
Okay.
clarify that.
Thank you for bringing your concerns to the board.
I've got something that I probably should have mentioned under modifications to the agenda, but I was contacted today by a citizen, and I told him I would bring it up tonight. I didn't know that. I think I know the answer, but I told him I'd bring it to the board. The property owner, Adam Teal, lives on Old County Road South. He was asking, first I thought he was asking if he could replace dry culvert that got washed out in the 24 flood. The actual, it's not off Old County South though. It's because his property also borders Campbell Road. And he said that there used to be a snowmobile bridge crossing the ditch from Campbell Road. And at that time, I guess according to him, the snowmobile trail went through sort of the lower part of his property. and, he said it washed out. He wondered if it was okay to put a culvert in there and some material over it, for like a woods drive, field drive, I don't know. I told him I thought he probably would need a drive permit. I don't know if there would have actually been when the snowmobile club puts in a little bridge like that, I probably don't normally do it across the ditch, but I guess if the ditch is deep enough, you have to. But that wouldn't require a drive permit, would it?
No. Where is this?
When you start down Campbell Road?
Yeah, when you start down
Turn down Campbell.
Yeah,
on the right.
On the right hand?
Yeah, right, not very far down.
years ago, the snowmobile trail went where Chisholm's house is.
Yeah,
And when Chisholm bought that, he shut down the snowmobile trail.
okay.
So that was probably before you were even on this,
Oh,
who came to work for the town, because we bought our property in 96 and we were in New York from 98 to 2008. And so it was in that time frame. I think that land was for sale, but right after Chisholm's bought it, they shut down that property for the snowmobile access. So that's when they ended up going out the other way and coming down onto Campbell Road.
Okay.
So I'm guessing that's
Yeah.
probably where it was.
Yeah, and right now he's got some, posts that he cut, he's just got laid from his property, that sort of bridges the ditch, and he's been running a snow, four-wheelers
Well,
across
that would
there.
be the thing, take a look at it. I'll go take a look at it and see.
He doesn't have tons of land here, he's only got two some odd.
But he'd be on the guy from Texas and stuff.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah,
and
that's it.
he's here for the month of August.
This, what's his name?
Adam T.
Adam T.
Teal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'll,
And he just bought the land that borders us, that goes down and borders with Ron.
Ron, where are we talking about on the map here?
Is this-
I have concerns
This is
about
Campbell
going
here.
down to
So it's
take a
right
look
here,
at it, because then
that's,
applying that we would maybe take ownership.
where this road comes
And I don't
down
think
right
we
This
should-
is
here,
county, this is pretty
okay,
washed out that.
that's all washed.
It-
Yeah.
it would
That
take-
got washed, and
Well,
so
if we
he
go look at
owns
it, I
down
feel
to
like
here
that's implying
Parkway, and
That
he's
we're
got a
gonna take
house.
ownership,
That's his
and I
house
don't
right
think
there.
we should do that.
Yeah.
It's on private
That's
land,
his
right?
house.
Okay. Where's the
It's
snowmobile trail?
within the
The
town.
snowmobile
right
trail
away.
doesn't come up here anymore.
It's a
but
question
that's
of whether
where
it
it
needs a
used to
drive
be.
permit or not.
It used
I
to
think.
come across from here.
So could we go to the state or Act 250 or wherever you find out about a permit?
No.
That would be local.
It's,
That would be, I just didn't know if a snowmobile bridge constituted, gives him the right to put a culvert in.
That's what they're saying.
No, I wouldn't think it would.
Coming from the town of
If he's gonna put a culvert in on a class road,
Warren.
then he would need it, to abide by the guidelines, B-71 and blah,
put
blah,
in a
blah.
driveway permit.
He'd need a driveway permit.
Yeah, and, yeah, so he probably, that was my feeling. I just said, well, I'll check tonight just to make sure that that's sort of the consensus. He isn't gonna be here long enough to go through the driveway permit to do it now.
Right.
Lawns are cheaper,
What's that?
lawns are cheaper.
Yeah.
Lawns
Yeah.
than they did.
Yeah, and he said something about, he might just to make it a little safer, because his grandchildren might be using it, that he might put, if he couldn't put a culvert in, he was wondering if he could just put some timbers across, sort of like what was there before when that
So
snow
laying in the ditch or going across it?
going across it, not laying in it, but
Okay.
anyways, that's where he lives, right? The guy from Texas, he's there he said through August, he
I
told
think
me,
here till Labor Day is what she told me, something like that.
well, maybe, he said within the next week, but that's maybe because he's got some equipment rented.
He's got equipment coming up there. He's got equipment rented, he's got more.
Yeah, he's working. So anyways, sorry to.
You,
Oh,
good for the timing then?
Yep.
All right. We are now on to agenda items for the next meeting, which is a working meeting on, what is that, 24th? August 24th. All right, what I have so far is tax rate, home burials, that's planning board as well. Fuel bids from Deb, what we want to do, all things considered in the fuel markets right now. Campbell Road, discussion about potential fixing the road or what we need to do there. Who has anything else?
At this time, I do not.
I don't either.
A
Do we need,
revisit of the town garage to make sure that things have been signed and taken care of to move forward.
good catch.
Do we need to add Slate Ledge Road after Jim looks at it?
Garage. Slate Ledge.
And I hate to continue the saga, but we should probably, hopefully here on the next meeting, let the phone and the iPad have been taken care of.
I think we're gonna have some notice of movement forward as early as tomorrow.
Yeah.
Jim, you'll forward whatever, what's the guy's name, Chris?
Yes.
Has to say as far as the
Right.
May, June billing cycle forgiveness. Okay, Slate Ledge Road,
So what does that mean? You'll send us an email saying that things are square or not square? If we're not putting it on the agenda?
We need to have, you need to make sure that,
do we need it on the agenda?
Well, no, I'm not saying we do, I'm just saying that I, for one, would like to know that it's finally over and ended. How are we gonna know that?
Let's touch base then.
Sure.
send an email when it's set up, when the W-9 and the whatever is.
So the
Tax
authority to
ID.
proceed on this is the authority that the board had previously granted me, is that what I'm understanding?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay,
So then I sign off on it, you'll get notice that it's taken care of.
iPad status
It has to be done within
Slash.
14 days.
conclusion.
Because the last time that I did it was I had the correspondence, it expired.
And do we need an executive session for contract?
No, this isn't a competitive contract.
No, I'm sorry, I moved on to a different subject.
Oh, for the gravel pit?
Yes.
I presume Mr. Galander would appreciate us moving along on that.
And I think we would appreciate a status, check-in in regards have the checks been cashed or not.
I'm not sure how to get at that. Mr. Galander has the receipt that he would need to sign to receive the checks. He has indicated he is not going to sign it. I presume
No,
that
I
continues to be.
indicated I was on vacation and it requires a signature.
Oh, is it your intention to sign and return it to the post office?
No comment at this time.
Okay. So that's executive session to discuss contractual matters. What else?
I think that's fine.
Careful. All right, hearing none for the time being. And the agenda, potential agenda, draft agenda remains open for additions or edits, usually through at least Wednesday, the week before the meeting. 9-10 days from today. All right, that seems about it, unless anybody has one more agenda item. Seeing none,
What day is the meeting? 24th?
correct.
We're supposed to have job applications in by then too.
Oh, yeah, so
There's catch. Good job. Anything else?
And I'm out of town the 26th to the 29th, if that's when you want to do interviews. Not that I have to be here or I can come in, but I'm out of town.
Out. 26, 29. That sounds like Wednesday through Saturday or Sunday or something. Yeah. All right.
Is the office locked downstairs?
Keys.
You got locked on top there.
Let's do this. I believe we are at the end of our agenda. The next would be motion to enter executive session for personnel discussion matters Board discussion? Sorry, I take a motion.
I'll move.
I have a
Go
second.
to executive session.
Sure, second.
Wade seconds. All in favor of going into executive session for personnel matters? Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, 5-0.